Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning into the Life Altering Podcast. Before I get started, I'd like to welcome you guys to follow me on Twitter and talk to me. My Twitter handle is at Chris Alaka'i. That's Twitter/ChrisAlaka'i. And just follow me on Twitter and talk to me. I don't want this to be a one-way thing where I'm just spouting my ideas and stuff. I want the whole goal of this podcast is for it to eventually become a platform where I can have real in-depth conversations with very rational people, and that's the audience who I want to reach. The rational person who's trying to become the best person that they can. Trying to grow and mature in ways that most people can't really understand. So talk to me on Twitter, give me feedback, give me ideas, and we can go back and forth. There's such beauty in the conversation, and people don't really realize it, We all get caught up in these small talk conversations with people to where we're just talking about weather or how the family's doing or anything, but when you can actually get deep into fascinating ideas and beautiful observations about this life, life it's very crazy. When you're in societies like the ones we're in, it's a completely crazy thing when you really look at it. But when you look at life in reality, it's so beautiful, So I want to get to the point where in this podcast I can have people on here and talk to people who've put that effort forward to becoming a rational, enlightened human being. I want to have those in-depth conversations and then talk to people who might listen to this and I want to know their feelings about it and hear their opinions too, good or bad. So today I'm going to stay on that same road that I was going on with the beauty of the conversation. You ever talk to that person who, no matter what you're trying to say, how rational it is, how great the thought is that you're trying to explain to them, they just don't want to hear it at all. It's like you're talking to a brick wall or something. It's because they've closed off their mind. They have become a closed-minded individual. It's almost like they're not even human anymore. They're more like a robot or something. We all have this human mind where we have the power to think of anything because of the infinity of the mind. We can go anywhere with any thought. It's literally infinite. But one thing that humans do is they can attach themselves to certain ideas. They can become a part of a group or something, and in doing so, they'll often turn their infinite mind to a narrow pathway, more like a hallway. And it's like if you try to talk to them about certain issues, they can't see outside of their thoughts because they have this hallway and they've put up these walls right on the side. They can't see anything outside of those walls. And it's frustrating because you might just want to have a conversation. It can be a family member or someone who you have to spend a lot of time with, and you just want to have a deep conversation with that person, truly connecting with that person. I mean, small talk gets old. You can only talk about the weather and how the kids are doing and how your friends are doing for so long. And then it's like, okay, what are we doing here? You're my brother, or my daughter, or anything. We should be able to talk about anything in life. It can be something like the marijuana laws, and everybody's attached themselves to what they've been taught from an early age. You can be talking to them about some of the stupid things that are going on with the laws, and right away they'll just dismiss everything you have to say, no matter how rational it is, because they're so attached to their thoughts. They've been thinking a certain way for so long that they don't want to change right now. They don't want to knock down those walls just yet. A lot of times it's just ego. They don't want to admit that they're wrong because they've spent so much time thinking that they're right. It's a real thing when you meet someone on the street and it's just people, they automatically think that they have everything figured out. No matter who you meet, it can be the guy at the gas station, from your banker to whoever. They think they have it all figured out. They might have a degree at some good university, and the average guy on the street can't tell him anything because that person has developed such an ego that they think they're better than people because they spent all their life following orders and just following the crowd. There's nothing wrong with the degree. It's just when you're not actually thinking for yourself in life. You know, you spend your whole life just being told what to do, what is successful, and you're just following the crowds. But it is a real thing with people where anyone you meet pretty much thinks they have it all figured out. They can be a religious person or a Zen master or anybody, and they really think they have it figured out because people become closed-minded. Closed-mindedness is like the enemy of consciousness, of human consciousness. When you become closed-minded, it's almost like you've become some sort of robot with a few programs in your database. You can't really think for yourself. A lot of it is when you join a group or something. One habit of people when they join groups is that they kind of lose their mind in a way where they lose their free thought. They don't think for themselves anymore. They think how the group thinks. Most groups, when you go and talk to all of the members, it's almost like they all are the same, you know? Like, there's a thing within the group where they just agree with each other. So no matter how wrong they are or how right they are, they just agree with each other because they're on that same train of thought, the group's train of thought. It's confirmation bias. So with that, when you're talking to people who are in that same position that you're in, and they're agreeing with you, when a certain amount of people are agreeing with you, you're automatically just going to think you're right, and you'll become closed-minded with that. Say you're against gay marriage, and you talk to a few people who are also against gay marriage. You'll spend a half hour talking about how gay marriage is wrong, and then it will become cemented in your mind that gay marriage is wrong. And no matter how much anyone else on the opposite side of the spectrum tells you, you'll never see their point of view because you're so attached to that. You're not even human anymore. You're this robot. This program has been uploaded into you, and you're only seeing this program. You're not seeing anything else. And you can't grow when you become closed-minded. You can't become wise. You stay a child in whatever area it is, or just in general. To actually mature, you have to remain open-minded. You have to be able to be objective. You cannot grow without being somewhat objective. You might think you're growing, but you're not really growing. And objectivity is a big part of being rational. If you can't be objective, you can't be rational. You remain biased with your thoughts constantly. People take advantage of the mind. They take it for granted. They're so caught up in their little worlds of trying to get that better job or get that better house or anything that they just take this mind for granted. But they're not realizing that their mind is everything. Your mind is everything. No matter what job you get or anything, your mind dictates whether you will be happy or whether you will be sad. If someone does something to you, your mind dictates how your day will go. Your mind dictates how your life will go. It doesn't matter if you have a mansion in Beverly Hills or you live on the streets. Your mind dictates how your life goes. And people don't really get that. One problem also with people, I shouldn't say problem, but it's just an issue, is people don't spend enough time in their mind thinking of their own ideas. We're taught from an early age in school to listen to the teacher, to read books, read anything, and listen to what people are telling you. Listening is a great thing, but what's also great is being able to come up with your own ideas, thinking for yourself. Oftentimes people are just worried about being laughed at for their own ideas, or they just want to appear smart. So they'll go read some books and memorize what this author had to say, and they'll just tell their friends, hoping to impress the friends. Then the friends will be like, so-and-so is so smart, and they'll spread the word, and you feel good about yourself. But you're taking your mind for granted. When you deal with certain people, it's almost like certain people just want to be a computer or something. They just want to memorize as many facts as possible and spit them at you, hoping that you'll be impressed by them. But it's like a bunch of smoke and mirrors. I don't want to know what you memorized. I want to know, what are your ideas? What are your feelings about certain things? That's how I get to know you. One of the most beautiful things in life is the fact that with this mind, we can literally think of any life-changing idea at any moment. But a lot of people don't, because they don't use their minds. Oftentimes when you've become a closed-minded person, rather than just having conversations and really talking things through with people, you can find yourself arguing a lot, defending your thoughts that you're attached to. And after a while it gets tiring. Then you just revert to small talk. I'm tired of arguing with these people. I'm just going to talk about the weather. Then it can't go bad. Then they won't view me as a jerk or anything. But if you just open your mind up and don't lash out at people for their thoughts, then you can actually connect with people in a positive way. As people, we should always be trying to grow as much as possible in the best ways possible. And the way to do that is to be open-minded, to be able to listen to what anybody has to say, take it in, and really see if it's a good thing or not. But you have to process every idea. You can't just dismiss ideas right away. no matter if it's a random guy on the street or it's your college professor or anybody. So that's what I hope to do with this podcast is talk to people on Twitter and or email or anything. Really have great conversations with people, because oftentimes it's very hard. You're in little towns and stuff, and most people aren't interested in just talking with you. I don't want this to be a one-way thing. I want it to be a back and forth thing. I want to hear feedback. Let's all grow together. But again, talk to me on Twitter. Twitter/Chris, CHRIS ALAKAI. Let's talk about some crazy stuff. Life is crazy. It's beautiful. Let's talk about it. Because we don't spend enough time talking about it. We spend most of the time just ignoring it. Thanks for spending your time with me, though, and have a great day.